Hey, welcome everybody. This is September 16th. I'm John Zidars. On behalf of PB Alerts, giving you the alerts you want, but the training you need. This is my DD. At the top and hot. I'm looking at stocks that made some huge gains today. I'm looking at stocks that made big news today. Things that we should be looking out for. These are swing trades on the OTC market that I'm looking at. Most of them are penny stocks. The biggest gains are in the cheapest stocks. We're going to be looking at stocks that have done hundreds of % gains, some without any notification whatsoever, and maybe there's going to be more. We don't just look for stocks that are going to run one day. It'd be nice to find those stocks that run 2, 3, 4 days in a row. So we're going to look at a play that I made yesterday. I showed you how I got into it and what I was looking for to get out of it. I got out of it today. Was it game or shame? Well, a little bit of both. I'll show you what I'm talking about. And then we'll take a quick look at a few top gainers and a few top news releases out today, at least in my opinion. And we'll see what you think. So, standing operating procedure, I am on TOS, that is Think or Swim trading platform. This comes from TD Ameritrade. It's absolutely free, and so is signing up with TD Ameritrade. You don't even have to trade with them. Just sign up, get the link, get your trading platform. Does a lot of things, but that's a whole nother show. Okay, what I want to do first is jump into my swing trade for PSRU that I had gotten into yesterday. The day before, it had jumped 242%. All on news on NFTs, which is a big craze. I'm not much of a crypto guy, but I can see a lot of anticipation, speculation, all wrapped around NFTs right now, which are a crypto, but not like Bitcoin or Ethereum. It's not got a set value. It's more like artwork, collectibles. They're auctioned on, and they have values based on what you think it's for. Could be artwork, could be something from a rock star, a sports star, something like that. All right, so I'm going to zoom in now on just our day. As a matter of fact, let's bring it over here on a big chart. Okay, I'm going to clear all these lines here, get all those out of our way so you can see a clear picture. Okay, when this came up and came down, I waited for the dip. I kind of figured there was going to be a dip after being such a hard climb, so I got in 5 minutes, 4 minutes later at just under a penny. Then it started to bounce up, and I thought it was going for it, so I bought in just over a penny, but it didn't. It came back down and it hit right here, and that is where that 50% mark was. That's half of that surge, and it landed right on that. Now keep in mind, I drew that 50% mark before the day started. So I had no clue this was all going to land on there, but it's a rule of thumb. If it's a strong stock, it will fall approximately 50% and lay around there, under it or over it, on top of it. So that's where it landed. And when it got there, that was my bottom in my mind. So I went and sold more positions of stock I had and bought more. And I brought my price down to about 0.0085 instead of about a penny. So I brought my price down. So I was right about here on my price. Now, by the end of the day, I was stuck in a channel between the 50% mark and my price. Wasn't gaining, wasn't losing, was right there, feeling comfortable. Then came this morning. Now let's just take a look at this on the 1 minute, because that's how I was trading it. It's just how the day started. Boom! I mean, the open was the high of the day, if that gives you any indication. So it started to fall, and it got really bad and kept falling. Now I need you to see the bigger picture here so you can understand why I got out. Okay, you see this here? I drew a support right there based on these, right? On top of this pillar, there's a strong support right there. But underneath that, there's barely anything. Maybe something right there, just a sniggle, and that's it. After that, it's just a long fall. There's nowhere to draw any supports here. So if the price falls below this yellow line, there is a very strong likelihood it's going all the way down. Let me throw in my sale now so you can see where that came in. Have to refresh for you. I'll take it down to the 1 minute. Boom, I'll zoom in. All right. This is my bottom line. That is as far as I wanted to go. As you can see on the 5 minute, I am right on top of that. Right on my very last line. Now this yellow line here above it, that was my red line. That was my get out. This is it. I've fallen as far as I can. This line here was my last hope. My last hope. If this breaks this, I'm out of there. Well, folks, it did. It broke. Now this line here, now I'm on a 5 minute. I want you to see that on a 1 minute because it really did eat me up a bit. This green line right there, the price opens on the bottom and it closes on the top. I saw this fall hard, saw it open right there at the bottom, and I said, nope, I cannot take a chance on this tumbling and losing more. I was at a 22% loss right here. 20 is my cutoff line. I used my niggle. That's all I got. I was out of there. And I was very frustrated to see that 32 seconds later, it started to climb back up. Now, the real frustration isn't just that I sold on the floor before it bounced, but I can't get my money for 2 days. I'm a cash account. Cash accounts have to wait for a sale to clear. At least after you buy it, you have to wait 2 days. So actually, I only got 1 more day to wait. But I can't touch that money because I don't have margins. It's like clearing a check. You don't get the money until they make sure that money's in the account. So I have to wait for my money. I sold with a loss and I watched it bounce back. Not happy. But in saying all that, let's back up and take a big gander at the picture here. I sold right there. It busted through and I was scared. So that's your rule. That's my rule. So I obeyed my rules. I did what was right. I'm not happy with the outcome, but the most important thing here, folks, is to save your money. Save your assets. Look, when you go to war, the objective is to eliminate the enemy. But if you get killed, everything else is moot. If you lose your money, how are you going to make a play tomorrow to recover? So you need to get out when you set your losses up because that's the only way you can continue going forward. And the day ended just about, if not lower, yeah, even lower. So, yeah, I may have been able to recoup a little bit of my losses here, but the fact is, that was my line. The risk here was beyond tolerable. I was not happy, I was not comfortable, the stress was high, and I was beyond my last rule. You got to do what you got to do. Okay, so that was how my play ended up. Not excited about it, but you know what? The truth of the matter is, even professionals, they get out of more plays without gains than they make in winning trades. I'm not saying they're losing trades. You know when to get out. And not every stock is going to perform the way we anticipate it to. That's just common sense. And really, 4 out of 5 are probably going to not perform the way you anticipate. And knowing how to get out is how you stay in the game. So I did what I was supposed to. Didn't turn out the way I wanted. But as long as I'm happy with myself, I can continue moving forward. And speaking of moving forward, let's go look at some scans, some high percentages, and some stocks in the news and see what is worthy of putting on your list and maybe playing tomorrow. I want you to notice this very top one just to blow your mind. Look at that. EMMD was at 10,000% gains and more. Yes, she only did 8,000 shares, so it wasn't worth trying to get into or anything like that. But she went from 0001, it says, that's her close, up to the price, folks, closed at 0.01. So she got rid of all those zeros. Now, the reason you're not seeing a chart come up is because she's dark and defunct. She can't be sold on the open market. She was sold, wasn't she? Not on the open market, though. You can buy it on the gray or the expert. Normally, that's a phone call to your broker and answering a few questions so that they understand you understand the significant risk involved with a stock like this. What's dark and defunct? They're not giving you any information. They're not giving you any disclosures, financials. We don't know what's going on, plain and simple. Now, I'm only looking at stocks here that have done a few million shares. I'm not going to look at 8,000 because you can't see anything. Here's one that did 21,000 shares, right? There's nothing there. That's the 5-minute. That's the 15-minute. There's nothing much to look at. That's the 30-minute. So I don't look at those. Plus, you can't guess direction when there's no shareage. Shareage. Is that a word? So one of the first ones I was interested in was BOPO. B-O-P-O. That is biopower. Let's jump over to the OTC market, and I'm going to show you this very simple reason this stock went up 500%. Started the day off at 8 cents and ended over 40 cents. And you're not going to believe what caused all that jump. Look at this. So here we are at the OTCmarkets.com. If you're going to do research and DD on an OTC stock, you must come to this place because it is the only site backed by FINRA and the SEC. All the information on this site is legal and legitimate. This is where your financials and your stock information are housed. So don't go searching the internet for it. You know how current the information you get is. This is current. So this is where I always come. BOPO, Biopower Operations at 42 cents with 501% gains, is pink and current. So she's not in any danger. Now what happened is that you can see there's no news. 2016, there's been no news, but there was a filing yesterday. This is a 10Q, it is a quarterly, a 10K is an annual. You get all the information in these things. Now they're a little overwhelming because they hold so much information, but you know, they've got a list here. You can see where information is at, but just come through one day and look. You'll see a lot of numbers there and you can understand some of them, but even if that's not what you're after, down here you can see what the company does, when they started, every deal they've ever made. It's a perfect history of everything they've done, right up to date. And a lot of times at the very bottom, they will then have subsequent events, things that happened just at the time this was being finished that didn't get included in the filing. And that's what happened over here on Twitter. They jumped into this filing and started digging information up. And you got stuff like, it has a 31 million float. Wow, folks, that's an extremely low float. That is beautiful. They are involved in blockchain. They are involved with NFTs, which I told you is hot. So as people come in here nitpicking the gold nuggets out of this thing, they're sharing this information. And believe it or not, that's what causes these stocks to move, is the influencing we do with each other. And when a cheap, low stock gets current or has a big volume move or a huge purchase, penny stock traders jump on it. There doesn't even have to be moved. There just has to be news. There just has to be action. It has to move to get people excited. And that's what caused this to go. Their 10Q came out and it had good information, and they are in a hot sector, NFTs and blockchain, which is going to be very big. The blockchain is going to touch every industry, is going to go worldwide, and is built on top of the internet. It is just more secure and tightly monitored. Well, all I can say is you can't miss this boat. Don't turn your back on something because you don't understand it. If you see the wave coming, get on your board and ride it. We don't need to know where the wave came from. All right, let's jump back to that list. So what was another one we had here? I do believe it was VGI. Oh, there's one. Right. Now, this is an interesting lesson. I want you to pick up something here. Yesterday, we went through some news, and there was a couple stocks when we went and looked. The only thing we could find was what we just saw. A 10Q or 10K had come out. People had picked at it, brought out all these good details and pieces of information, and the stocks flew. Why? Because they were undervalued, and once proof was shown that there was value to the company, people wanted a part of that cake. Well, that's what happened with this one, JZZI. And boy, this would have been a play for 10 in the morning. Let me bring this down to 5 minutes. So you had a big jump pre-market, and in the first 5 minutes, I mean, it flew, folks. It flew. This thing was over 400% gains in 15 minutes. And it settled down at, I do believe that's right, 24 from 006. Yes. Yeah, 400%. I could be wrong, but I'm sure that's what it is. In either case, you know what made this one run? Well, you can find that answer out over here at the OTC market. JZZI Technologies, our pink limited information, which means they're not in super hot water, but they need to get a little bit cleaner, but everything else looks good here. But this is the news. This is what came out today. It was an audit. They audited themselves and just put it out there as news and said, we have value. The digital media marketing division, that's all they do is advertise. They're a media business that advertises for people. Has received an independent assessment of its proprietary marketing database indicating that the Total Record Group has a base asset value of $13 million plus. And that's all it took. That's all it took, folks. Tell them what the company's worth and they'll start doing all their calculations and the price will find where it needs to be. And this one, well, you saw that jump in the morning. That was huge. And that was, as I said, quarter till 10. That would have made a great morning play. But even if you stuck in it, you still ended up with a great return. Now, is this going to continue? No, I don't think so. Because once you know the value and the price finds the set point for that value, it's just going to bobble up and down. That's my feeling. So, now another one, I do believe I have to come over here to descending. This one is interesting as an OTC stock trader. This is one of the things we look for when we are trading stocks. Let me see if I can find it here. Where did it go? I'm going to put it over here. All right, so is this today? Let me see the date. Where is that date, for Pete's sake? Let me bring it up over here. I can't even see it. All right. Yeah, this looks like it is all today. Sure is. So you can see she was running downhill, hit a low bubble yesterday, and that may have something to do with it. I can't say it doesn't. You can see that she started to pick up from that low bubble. It just started to inch up. But this is where it all took off. And this jumped from 002 to 004, which gave it 100% at its top, and it ended at 43. Now this one ran on what you might consider rumor, and I'll show you that rumor right now. This comes from two different pages for VGIS and Humble Energy. Humble Energy did a reverse merger with TSNP, which was a New York flooring company that had 2 stores. They took over the ticker. They're a fintech and they're getting big and they're expanding into a lot of things. Well, notice what I've got here. Humble Energy's address and phone number and VGIS's address and phone number. They are the same. This comes from OTC Market. I've just taken a picture of each so I could put them side by side for you. But this is a token sign that something is going on. When businesses share business information, when they share the same address, the same phone number, I doubt the 2 companies are working in the same office because they can't afford separate offices. So this is what we look for when we look for mergers, when we look for joint ventures, when we look for a company to swallow up another company. Now, which I have not done, who had this address first? Did Humble have the address first, or did VG have the address first? That gives you an indication. I get the feeling Humble is going to be the big boy in this one and VG the smaller boy. But I don't know. But what we do know is that something is going on here. That's speculation. People are buying in to that speculation. Now, do I think this is going to continue running? Well, it sure looks good. I'll tell you what, it sure looks good, doesn't it? Let's zoom in on that. You can see that the volume was strong in the middle of the day, got light, got weak, and it is picking back up. The MACD is picking up down here. That's looking good. It's come back across the signal line. and the RSI is at 60, which is my basement floor for activity. You're out of bed, you're dressed, you're ready to go to work at 60. So that is looking good. I can't deny that. Now, I am going to zoom in right down to the 1 minute just to see how people felt at the very last second. All right, so we had, now, is there a high bubble there? I don't think there is. No, the high would be over there. So she had a pullback right there. So really, you're running on speculation. Speculation doesn't have direction. And that's one of those things you just can't guess. So it took a ride, and let's see. If it started down here at that 002 and was up here, so right about at 3.1 seems to be about her 50% mark, and look. So she's ended right at her 50%. She came under it, came back over it, is starting to push away, which to me is a good sign it wants to get away from it. The 200 is on the top, and the 10 is just crossed over the 20. Looks like it is racing to get back to the 200. So there is a good possibility that this could continue growing on speculation. Now, when news comes out, if there is any news between these two, this will probably explode because Humble has a lot of people following it. Humble made a lot of money for a lot of people. So this you should be putting on your watch list, VGLS, and it wouldn't hurt to put Humble on it too. Let's see if there was anything else over here in the scans that caught my attention. I do believe there was two more. I don't know if we can see them here because things moved around. I was looking at this before the day ended, trying to prepare for this. Let's see here. There is a lot of these have been making gains strictly for going current. And when these sort of plays, folks, OTC market is a wonderful place to just sit around and look for deals. Look for places that you can make money. Let me get out of there. All right. You come over here to the OTC market. Come to my favorite page, the news page. Okay. Now, the news page has news at the top, financial reports in the middle, and other SEC filings, including financials, down here at the bottom. Now, these are in real time. It's not streaming. You do have to hit that refresh button if you're on your computer or whatever you do on your phone to get it to give you the freshest information. So, yes, you do have to do that. But outside of that, folks, you come over here, you see news come up. Now, specifically, look. Financial reports. Now, I've told you over and over that this has a deadline of September 28th. These companies are in trouble and investors are desperate. They're trapped. There's a lot of pent-up anxieties here. So when something good happens, these things are exploding. You've seen that 400, 500% in just minutes. So right here, you can see what's coming out. Like this one here, okay? AMLH. They are a yield sign, and that's for 2020. Look for one that's behind. Look for one that's not current. The ones that are trying to catch up are the ones that are like this one here. I found this one, CGUD. That's from 2020. They just filed reports. Let me show you on the chart what they look like. CGUD. There. CGUD did 175% gains today just because she filed a current financial report. People are excited to see these going in. Now, they have not changed their designation yet. The designation is still set over there at a stop sign. Is that what they were? Yeah, stop sign, which we can't even buy. We can't even buy it. But you can buy a yield sign. You can buy a yield sign. The other thing is the 8Ks. 8Ks are material changes. Material changes are going to show you whether they have a merger coming up, just bought a company, bought a building, have a change in management. Anything that changes the value of the company is going to be in there. And they're normally pretty blooming short. Let me show you. Now, I don't know what's in this one. It's a QX, BITW. Don't click that. Click the actual 8K, and it'll open up for you. Now, you can see that's the whole page. Up here, it tells you it's an 8K. tells you the company name, and up here are just some boxes, that say that they're covering all the rules, and then you'll have a paragraph or two, and that's all you get. So let's see what this one said. Oh, shares, okay, has been subject to 1 year holding period. So they're telling you about shares that have been subject to a hold, but it could be anything, literally anything. Come on, open up for me. There we go. Let me see. 10Ks and 10Qs are financial reports. 8Ks are material changes. 6Ks normally means there's been a big share change. Somebody moved a lot of shares. But I like to search 8Ks. It can be redundant, but if you find something. So you sit over here and you see something pop up, all you've got to do is just pay attention. And even if you don't want to jump in and do any reading, the ticker pops up. You go up there and you hit that refresh button, right? And you say, okay, is there anything new? Oh, a new one came up. Grab that ticker, and throw it into a chart, which is what I would do. I would run over there, and that's what I do with some other plays I have. I just come over here and throw it in the chart, put it in there, and see what is going on. And if I see this MACD is climbing, if I see that's going, I just found myself what they call a volume play. It's moving, so I get into it. So once the news comes out, be on top of it. Check the ticker, see if there's anything going on, because you see there is very little reaction time. I mean it, less than 5 minutes from the time a filing comes out or a press release comes out. If it has value, that stock is moving, and moving at a very quick rate. And remember, when surges move that quick, they overshoot. They go too high, and that's why they fall back down 50%. So know that very quickly it will come back down. So try to grab those profits in a hurry. All right. Don't want to spend too much more time here. We've covered lots, but I want to just jump on over here. The other thing that you can do is if you come over here and go to current market, you can keep up with what stocks are moving. If you're looking for a price range over $1, over 5 cents, hit that over 5 cents. And this is going to be in real time too. Whatever's at the top, well, actually, it's whatever you put at the top, but you can see who's doing what. Now me, I like to look at trades. You can see how many trades have been done, how the share volume, how much money that they've made just on that stock in a day. Let's pick a good one. Look at that. Now that's a CE. That's a bad stock. Let me click that. There you go. Expert market, skull and crossbones. The only way you can buy this is to buy it on the expert market. They won't even let these people put any news down here. They're not allowed to talk to me and you. They've been put off in the corner because they're considered dangerous. Buyer beware. OTC Markets Group, it has determined that there is a public interest concern associated with this company. So I was surprised to see that there, because most are disappearing. Most have been taken down. But you find stocks here that are local. Like there's BOPO, right? You could have seen BOPO running first thing this morning, but look at this. Is that not the giveaway? The trades. You can tell which companies are getting action. There's 193% by the trades. The trades tells me more than the volume of shares. I mean, agreed. There is a lot of volume of shares here, and it is a giveaway. But I like this. I like to see how many people are trading. Let me kick that out one more time. Okay, so here we have 123% on a good stock that had 1,700 trades. So you can see a correlation here between a price rise and how many trades there are. So when I bring this up over here, I like to look at the trades. I want to see who is doing the most trading. And the fact of the matter is, if you come over here to the top one, here, you can search just by trades. And you can see which companies, but this isn't going to show you just the gainers. It's going to show you everybody, losers and gainers. So you've got to pay attention. Over here, you're just going to have your gainers. And it's very quick to see a big number, isn't it? So I find this a real easy way to scan in the morning. The problem is that you have to go up here to the search button, and you've got to click, or not the search button, the refresh button. And you have to refresh it. That's a pain. I gotta tell you, that's a pain. But it's grand information. Now, since we're here, here's our totals for the day, folks. Approximately 11,000 securities, but about 2,000 of them have been yanked off because they're dirty. We did $2.2 billion worth of business. Only 15 billion shares. Oh my God. A slow day is 30,000 or 30 billion, folks. 30 billion is a slow day. 15 billion. They're not out of bed. Holy cow. I am really shocked. I am shocked. Man, when this market picks back up, we're just going to go cuckoo, aren't we? Trades, we had 390,000 trades. About a half a billion is a slow day. 600 billion, you start to get some good action. Obviously, above that, it's wild times. So, not a great day here. Okay, I've shared some information here with you. You got to see me make my play. Didn't go the way I wanted it to, I admit, but a lot of them are like that. The important thing is to have the courage to stick to your rules. Get out. No, it doesn't feel good to lose your money, and we always hope for the best. We hope we're going to recover. But folks, don't hang on to an anchor thinking that you've got enough strength to swim up and pull it. You don't. Just get out when you know you should. Just do what you gotta and save your assets for tomorrow, or in my case, 2 days from now. Outside of that, I like to keep my ear to the railroad track, and just because I don't have money to trade doesn't mean I don't want to see what's going on and maybe help you find something too. Remember, jump in there. Get as much information as you can. I'm trying to show you places where you can get tidbits of information to help your trading along on the OTC market. It's the wild, wild west out there, but it doesn't have to be dangerous. You can enjoy the tumbleweed view as they roll on by. The more you know, the more you grow. See you, folks.